previous episode of sex, love, lovemaking, passion, intimacy, dating, we talked about the dating part of Songs of Solomon, the lover and the beloved. The beloved is the woman, and the lover is the man. All right, so technically they don't have names, but I believe that King Solomon is the actual lover, since he was the author of Songs of Solomon. And it's also called Song of Songs as well. All right, so this right here is the second part of the series on Songs of Solomon. And so I'm glad you joined us. And this right now is the wedding day. This is the second part, so this is the wedding day. The third part, tomorrow, is going to be the romance. And then the final part, 4, is going to be the permanence and purity part. So the second part of Songs of Songs, it starts out with King Solomon. It's their wedding day. So King Solomon is approaching her, and she is the beloved, is asking, who is this coming up from the desert like a column of smoke, perfumed with myrrh and incense, made from all the spices of the merchant? And it's Solomon's carriage. So he's coming up. He has about 60 men with him, 60 warriors, like his groomsmen, exactly what they are. And so they're coming up, and they're pretty much having the wedding that day, the wedding day. And so he says, how beautiful you are, my darling. Oh, how beautiful. Your eyes behind your veil are doves. So we know it's a wedding. And this is one of the very few weddings in the Bible, the first I've known in the Old Testament. So it says, your hair is like a flock of goats descending from Mount Gilead. So he is describing her from head to toe. He is in love with her. Remember, this is a love story. So he is in love with her. She is in love with him. This is a love story. And you don't get to see the arguments they have, the conflicts they have, and all that. This is a love story, which is great. This is one of the things that God highlights. And so it's not really being discussed as much, but let's get into the wedding night. The wedding night. So it says, your neck is like the Tower of David, built with elegance. On it hang 1,000 shields, all of them shields of warriors. Your 2 breasts are like 2 fawns, like twin fawns of a gazelle. So fawns are the deer, the baby deer, and they're like very playful. You know, he's describing it as like 2 deer, and the baby deer are very playful. And so he's saying they're easy to play with. Her breasts are easy to play with. Until the day breaks and the shadows flee, I will go to the mountain of myrrh and to the hill of incense. All beautiful you are, my darling. There's no flaw in you. So he looks at her like, she is flawless. He's describing everything. Her eyes, her hair, her neck, and of course, her breasts. And so, and also legs and all those things. So he is like, to him, she's built like a mamma jamma. And so it says, come with me from Lebanon, my bride. Come with me from Lebanon. Descend from the crest of Amana, from the top of Sinner, the summit of Hermon. So he says also, you have in verse 9, chapter 4, verse 9, you have stolen my heart, my sister, my bride. You have stolen my heart with one glance of your eyes, with one jewel of your necklace. How delightful is your love, my sister, my bride. How much more pleasing is your love than wine, and the fragrance of your perfume than any spice. So remember, this is a poem, and there's a lot of poetry, a lot of, not poetry, a lot of metaphors that I wanted to say, a lot of metaphors. And so we get into that in verse 12. It says, you are a garden, check this out. You are a garden locked up, my sister, my bride. You are a spring enclosed, a sealed fountain. So he's saying that she was a virgin and she's never been opened, right? She's never had sex because she was a virgin. So that garden locked up, she was a virgin. And so the garden is her body, right? The garden is her body. And in verse 15 says, you are a garden fountain, a well of flowing water streaming down from Lebanon. And she says, awake, north wind, and come, south wind, blow on my garden, that its fragrance may spread abroad. Let my lover come into his garden and taste its choice fruits. There you have it. You can't get any direct than that. This is love making at its finest. All right. So keep in mind, when, first of all, someone says there's no wedding in the Bible or, in the Old Testament, that's not true. There definitely is a wedding between King Solomon and his lover, his beloved. He describes it, his beloved. And so this is a very passionate, filled with passion, love story between a man and a woman. And it's very exclusive and it's very monogamous. It is monogamous. All right. This is not a situation where there's no side chicks. There isn't any foolishness and craziness going on. This right here is something that God intends for married folks to have some enjoyment of our bodies, enjoyment with each other, enjoyment in the bedroom as well. So this is very, and God intends for us to enjoy sex. He doesn't take the desire away. He intends for us to enjoy sex. And so in chapter 5, it says, I have come into my garden, my sister, my bride. I have gathered my myrrh with my spice. I have eaten my honeycomb and my honey. So he got all of that goodness in that wedding night. I have drunk my wine and my milk. There you have it. He describes, and they describe really the sweetness of their love, and the sex is fruit. All right. Fruit describes it as myrrh, spice, honey, wine. These are all like metaphors for sex and the beauty of it. All right. The beauty of it as well. So that concludes the second part of the series Song of Songs. Remember, this is filled with sex, romance, lovemaking, dating, and passion, intimacy as well. All right, stay tuned as we continue with the romance in the next part. Peace.